There's a story of Reb Yehoshua ben Levi. I want to tell you something about the title Reb. It's an honorific. The closest is perhaps the Spanish don or doña. Not quite as formal as sir, but more honorable than Mr. Reb Yehoshua ben Levi was a very distinguished and wise old rabbi. And it came the time that he was to be called on high to leave this world for what they called the world of truth. And so, at the throne of glory, the angel of death was summoned. And he was told, Reb Yehoshua ben Levi is a very wise and very good man. He's truly a saint. I want you to bring him with the greatest courtesy and honor, and anything he asks you, do for him. I really want you to escort him with the greatest ceremony. And the angel of death, understanding his job, bowed and said, of course it would be done that way. And he took his large knife and went off. And soon he presented himself before Yehoshua ben Levi and said, Reb Yehoshua ben Levi, I'm here to take you to your maker. And Yehoshua ben Levi looked at him and said, really? How can I tell you're who you say you are? Do you have any identification? The angel of death had never been asked this before, but he remembered he was told to answer all his questions, to do anything he wanted, and he thought and said, well, perhaps this could identify me, and he held up his fearful long knife. Reb Yehoshua ben Levi looked at it without flinching, but he did turn a bit pale, and he said, I see that indeed you are who you say you are, and I will go with you because my affairs have been ordered for a long time, and there's no one to whom I need to say goodbye now. Only I have a small request. The angel of death said, I've been told to grant you whatever you wish. He said, my request is, I'll go with you, but I would feel much more comfortable if you'd let me carry that. So the angel of death, who had never done this before, handed his knife over to Reb Yehoshua ben Levi, who carried it firmly but gingerly and accompanied the angel of death on the long trip to the other world. And when he was getting tired, the angel of death said, remembering his assignment, that's no problem. Leap onto my shoulders. I'll carry you the rest of the way. And so he carried Reb Yehoshua ben Levi on his great shoulders. Imagine that with the wings holding him up from behind. Yeah? They continued on the long journey, and in a great distance, he could see what looked like the walls that surrounded the heavenly city. He said, are we there yet? And the angel of death said, not quite yet. They began getting closer, and you could see the walls more clearly. Are we there yet? Soon, soon. And finally, he could see the beginning of the edge of the walls. Soon we'll be there. And so Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, from his vantage point, holding the knife, began peeking over the walls to see what was there. And he said to the angel of death, do you have any idea where people are here? He said, oh yes, I escort them there. Do you know where my place will be? In a little while, I think I can even show you from here. And he pointed, you see under that magnificent date palm over there? That's your place. Without further ado, Reb Yehoshua ben Levi leaped from the shoulders of the angel of death, right over the wall, ran to his place underneath the palm tree, with the angel of death's knife inscribed a great circle around himself, and sat down in it with the knife and said, I'm not moving. This was a terrible embarrassment to the angel of death, who was now without the tool of his trade. This had never happened to him before, and he was, to excuse the pun, mortified. He went and hid for a few days. Things began to change and shift, and rumors came up from the spirits below to the angels, and from the angels to the archangels and the holy beasts. And finally, the rumors came to the throne of glory itself. And so, of course, the Creator had to begin asking questions, and the questions proceeded down until finally somebody summoned the angel of death from his hiding place and dragged him, shamed, to the throne of glory. Whereupon he was asked, have you taken a vacation? And he said, not really. And then he was asked, why have you not been going about your business these last few days? And so, To his terrible embarrassment, he had to explain that his knife had been tricked away from him by Reb Yehoshua ben Levi, the saint, to whom he was commanded to do anything he wanted. He thought he heard a bit of a chuckle from the throne of glory, but he couldn't be sure. Well, he heard from the throne of glory, there is great trouble because you haven't been doing your work. The hens have stopped laying eggs, and the eggs that were laid have not turned into chicks, because an egg must die to being an egg in order to become a chick. The grass is not growing because a seed must die to being a seed in order to become a grain and a grass. And no lovers have any interest in each other, because think how many sperm must die to fertilize one egg, and that one egg must die to being a fertilized egg in order to become an embryo. The world has totally stopped. There is a terrible anomie descended upon the entire world because you, the angel of death, are not doing your holy and necessary job. Well, the angel of death was silent. He really had not known before how important his job was. There was a long and embarrassing pause, after which the words were heard from the throne of glory. You must go to Reb Yehoshua ben Levi. You must make a deal. A deal? I'm an angel. What am I, a businessman? What do I know about deals? You have to do it. So the angel of death went to Yehoshua ben Levi and sat at the edge of the circle because he couldn't come any further in. And he began to tell him, Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, honored sir, because you have my knife, the world has ground to a halt. And he explained that the hens had stopped laying eggs, that nothing was giving birth, that no grain or flower was growing, and that lovers had stopped making love. And Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi realized just how serious the issue was. And he said, respected angel of death, I will give the knife back to you, but you must make a deal. The angel said, what is it you would like? He said, I ask not that you don't take the souls you must take here to the world of truth, but that you not present yourself to them in your horrific aspect with your terrible long knife, so that the last moment they know on earth is fear. I ask that to the extent that they will allow you, you present yourself as a friend. Perhaps some people need a bit of a warning beforehand, an illness, a weakness, an urge that what is here no longer holds enough for them, so that they can put their affairs in order and go with you in peace and in contentment. The angel of death thought about that and said, for those who will approach me in peace as a friend, I will do it, and for those who will not, I'll sneak up on them from behind. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi accepted the deal and gave the angel of death back his knife, which is how come we are all here today.